Oh, yeah.
GM, bless and love, my lords.
Good evening there. Thank you so much for starting off with oneself, DJ Vadim, with Blue Rum
Not a
13,
problem.
and
Not a
my
problem.
favourite little mini MC lady. They're like the best trio ever. I think one of them's Russian, one of them's American, and one of them's Swedish. It's like the most mental collab.
Yeah, and the Swedish one is Chilean, Brazilian, but born in Sweden, and
Oh yeah,
they all have travelled all over
the
the world.
lady. And the
Yeah.
lady is married to the man. And so basically the story about those guys is my husband and I used to work for this drum and bass and UK hip hop magazine, going around filming loads of like drum and bass MCs and artists. And we roll up to a venue in Southampton, and we're there to actually try and get an interview from these guys, and they make a beeline for my husband to try and score some dope. And they're like, yeah, have you got any weed? And they invite us back, and we managed to get all of this like video content with them. The Blue Rum 13 actually used to do stuff with Fugees back in the day. Just madly underexposed, really cool, thoughtful, intellectual hip hop. Totally my bag.
Shout out Indelible too, with the bags.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me this evening. Really, really excited to pass on some Pepe knowledge.
Hello, Whoisit? Very nice to meet you also.
Very, very nice to meet you as well. Thank you very much for featuring me this week. It's been fabulous.
It's an absolute pleasure. What a beautiful artwork you made for us this week, and educational.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, there's lots of sound bites, there's lots of interviews on sections of the history of Pepe, but nothing that merges, you know, from the comic through to the meme through to Rare Pepe, through to Fake Rares and Alcatraz, the Rare A Pepe project, Mikaboshi, and all the other people, independent artists, you know, people in the audience, you know. We've got Darky there, who represents hard. It's fascinating and really important to kind of have that down and documented, I feel.
And it's incredible for it to be a part of our collaboration. We're really grateful to have something of such storytelling, such a lorific piece, I would say.
Well, yeah, I've been dabbling in animation for a little while, but I really wanted to learn this whole zooming animation concept that I've utilised through the piece, which is After Effects. It's like panning the camera. So that's what I was learning with that, and it's been really fun. It was good to have something that had multiple scenes, and also vector. I've never worked in vectors before. I've always been pixel based. So for this piece, I did it all in Illustrator, and then I threw it all into After Effects in groups. So each group is there. When you import it into After Effects, it becomes a layer, and then I was able to break down my layers into composition, so like people became a composition in themselves, and you could animate that within the bigger scheme of things, which was really interesting to kind of learn that process. I'm good when I've got something to learn for. Do you get me? it's
yeah, a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, I'm better under pressure.
Maybe a deadline.
I know, and I went for like four different scenes, you know. You're going to do it.
And you put in a hell of a lot of work too. Like this was probably almost a month's worth of work in the end, wasn't it?
It was a good solid bit of grind, but I'm really chuffed with how it came across, and I was able to play with my MPC and cut up some sound bites. So yeah, it really entailed everything that I love to do as an artist.
You mentioned Southampton earlier, so I don't know if you live close, but I have been there.
Yeah, I am actually. I'm 15 minutes down the road in Portsmouth.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a very British, I don't know, fishing village or very
we're super sailory.
Yeah, so I started my transatlantic trip from there when I was sailing across the Atlantic. And this is where we picked up the boat and we had to sail it all the way down. So I spent around like 5 days there because the weather was terrible. But it was very nice. Like for me, it was like exotic. I don't know.
You know, we've got a saying in England, and it's British summertime only lasts 3 weeks, and it's so true. We have poor weather. You never get sunshine in England.
Yeah, I know. But for me, it was cool. It was nice and moody and, drizzling all the time. So I was going to the pub, waiting for the weather to get better. So I was reading my book. I really enjoyed it.
That
Fantastic.
sounds like a British holiday if I ever heard about one.
very, very much so. Some crumpets and
It
jams.
was that time. It was that time. What else could I do?
Brilliant.
I'm gonna remix this Whoisit like you would, because I actually had an intro prepared if you want to hear me.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Talk a little bit about you. So I'm gonna whip that turntable back and we're gonna pretend like we're just come into this space. So welcome to another Red Lion Push and P Twitter space with your host C. Laurie and Red Lion I, and our guest, who is it? I'm sure.
Hey! Don't rush it. Come on, do it good.
Oh, this is okay.
Yeah.
Today we are making history. We're talking about Pepe history. We're talking about it and we're making it. We're going to be speaking with a certified fake rare artist, a frog friend, and a collab queen. Whoisit grew up in Portsmouth, United Kingdom. She's a hip hop head. Sometimes she raps. She loves to turn the tables because she's a DJ too. She's an illustrator. She's a designer. She's an animator and a musician. And previous to her Web3 life, she worked in marketing for 16 or more years. She knows a thing or two. So she knows a thing or two about a good project when she sees one. With roots that run deep into XCP, into ETH, Tez, and Mikaboshi, Whoisit is something of an OG. She's created some glorious fakes, danks, and commons, which we'll be touching on over the next hour, as well as Wojaks and Boshis and Kaleidoscope assets, amongst others. She even created an unofficially official fake anthem for the Fake Res project, which we'll listen to in a bit too. Together with her partner in crime, Indelible Trade, recently we've seen the creation of the Matsumi Kaboshi Genesis profile picture collection, alongside SeeingRed.io, which is a marketplace for all things Mikaboshi, where you can mint and sell in the native currency of Mika. My last point, which was actually my third point, is that she loves to collab. Whoisit has been involved with a multitude of other projects and created assets alongside a bunch of different XCP artists, handprints with Kane Mayfield and Alcatraz Swim Team with Viva La Vandal, to name but a couple. Today, she works alongside with Red Lion to create Pepe history. GM, let's fucking go.
Absolutely brilliant. Great one. Amazing.
Hopefully we can soundbite a little bit if we need to, And there's a lot of information in there,
great.
So let's get into it.
That was fantastic.
Great. Beautiful.
I feel a bit big-headed now.
Also, shout out all of our previous artists. We've got PE in here as well from last week, so we have had some incredible guests throughout this curation, and I'm very grateful to just be a part of this. So thank you for being here with us. Whoisit?
And thank you for having me. So where do you want to start?
Okay, let's start with your entry into art and like how were you first introduced into art? Where did you start? Your journey from?
Okay.
And talk to us a little bit about your origin stories.
Yeah. So I went to university and I did a bit of Master of Everything, Professor of Nothing degree. I did a BSc in Entertainment Technology, where I learnt how to use Photoshop and make videos and do music production. Up until that point, I wanted to be a indie pop star. And then I met my husband, Indelible, and I got myself a job in marketing as doing kind of internship for the summer. And then I Lindy hopped around a few agencies, and eventually I did a really good job for a local entrepreneur, and I was working freelance at the time. And he called me into a meeting and he said, "Oh, I want you to come and work for me." And I was 24 and I just started freelancing, and I thought, no, I really like working for myself. I don't really want to sell my soul and work for the man anymore. And after a lot of toing and throwing, he invested in my company, and we got premises, and we grew into a marketing agency, and kind of gave me a really good understanding of lots of different types of media, and more digital marketing angles like SEO and web design, but stuff that I was later on able to kind of put into NFT design. Anyway, that kind of 2017, 2018, my husband starts getting into these fucking frogs. And honestly, me and all my friends, we give him so much stick. He's talking to his invisible friends. Oh my god, he's talking about these fucking Pepe things. He's bloody bonkers. What is my husband on? We just don't get it. You're buying.
Is that 2017? Is that
2017, 18? Yep. And for years, I'm just giving him jip, and I'm bending his ear in every possible scenario, because to me, this whole idea that people are buying something that they don't physically own is absolutely doolally. I can't fathom how this is a thing. I'm trying to explain to my mum that this is a thing and that it's something that's doing all right and they're having loads of fun and other people around the world are doing this with him. We think it's doolally. Fast forward 5-6 years, I'm like, I don't want to work anymore. And he says, well, you should give this NFT thing a go, because I think you'd actually be quite good at it. So, I mean, we're talking end of 2021, and I have a go. My first fake rare.
Fake rare started not too long before that, right?
So, okay, we should go back, right? So, prior to that, I didn't even realise what fake rares was, and I didn't even realise that Stefan and Skrilla had made this thing, and it was like their thing, and like I had no idea, because honestly, we just thought that these frogs, we didn't understand. We didn't understand the importance of it. We didn't understand the history of it. We just gave him so much banter. It was. I'm surprised we're still together because we just thought he was bananas. But yeah, I did my first fake rare, which was my rare Pepe, or Pepper Rare. I can't remember which. I think it's Rare Pepper, which is the GQ front cover. That then gets made into a flyer, and they go to NFT NYC and stand on the corner to promote fakes with that flyer. And what they did is they put a QR code on to push people back to the website to claim the NFT. It was kind of one of our first ever promotional things that we did in fakes, and that really kind of rocket launched me, because the VVD bought something like 60% of the cards in one. He did like a haul early doors where he went round and bought lots of people's cards, like everything that was on the dispensers. And yeah, I've done 6 under Whoisit, and I've done 2 under a different alias, so it's going well.
What was the first NFT you bought, and what was the first NFT you minted yourself?
Okay, so rare Pepper would have been the first NFT that I minted myself, and that was on Bitcoin. Obviously, I've done things probably backwards to what most people in here would have done, because my husband is Bitcoin and he's always been Bitcoin. That was what I kind of knew off the bat and got shown. So
is he a maximalist?
No, we're very much agnostic. I think you have to be agile in this community. I think you have to have the ability to go where the trends are, to go where the latest meme is, and whether that be with fake memes or whether that be with VVD's checks, whether that be with Salo bots, you know, you've got to be agile, and you've got to be able to jump on the different networks, I believe.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, please continue. What was Your purchase?
My first purchase, I believe it was a Viva La Vandal piece. See, I'm very much, I love the graph, I love the throw up. I was really lucky, like Skrilla wanted to trade stuff with me, so I got all of Skrilla's cards with trades. Obviously, Indelible, I've got a nice little haul of all of his rare Pepes that he created, and the fakes. We've always done trades on everything. Obviously, very important to have 2 of everything that you trade.
That's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah, I love Wade. I love Darky. I love Skrilla's stuff. I love the illustration. I love the I like the artists who are drawing their own shit and not getting somebody else to do their stuff, basically.
I think there's probably a little bit of license there to like Rare Pepe is CCO, right? I assume, because there's a lot of remixing and things.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
There's a little bit in there to do your own, but also to work with other people's, which is quite cool. Yours are quite unique.
Yeah, I like to hand draw everything. I like to put my own spin on stuff.
And some of those people you mentioned, like T-Wade as well. There's some, I'm intrigued actually. Have you met some of these other artists in real life?
Yeah, I was in Vegas last year with Skrilla, with Indelible, with Pepinado, with Carsonated, with with Theo, with Sean Leary, and was there somebody else? Am I missing Skept? It was so basically a story. One of the first ever tokens to come out on Bitcoin was a thing called Test. And Test had been minted, but it'd been never been minted with a graphic behind it. And they popped up late 2021, and we scooped a handful, shall we say? And part and parcel of that is that you have 21. Yeah, we're in 23, babes. Sorry, I'm sat here with Indelible. You get that. You get
Owen
2
was
for 1 on this
joking. He said, I wonder if it was an Indela just laid out in a really nice king bed or queen bed somewhere and just laptops out. Like, how does it work? Do you guys have offices or?
Oh no, we don't have offices. We just have a nice home office. Our little boy is off school this week.
Oh, cool.
So part and parcel of buying Test was that you'd get to go to this like yearly conference or yearly shenanigans. So we went to Vegas last January and met a load of the scientists, and it was cool. It was really good for Indelible as well, because Indelible had been doing stuff with these guys since 2018 and never actually met them. I met Darky last year. We went to a Bitcoin conference with Hansel and Easy B.
Are you the only couple that would have turned up at any of these things?
Carsonated bought his wife. Joe Looney, he bought his wife as well.
Okay, cool. But
I wasn't flying solo, but
active developing
I'm quite good
couple,
with
I guess.
with boys. I'm good with boys. I smoked them all under the table.
I look forward to hopefully meeting a few of you guys one day, and this is one of the coolest things about the Rare Pepe community for me is like the connections with the people are very, very real. I know Redline has some really cool connections with people too, and Redline himself pushes the right sort of intentions with partnerships and like working together. And I think it's like we're at a point now where the market is developing into the next sort of evolution of itself. Who knows what that might look like, but I really do look forward to meeting some of you guys and like the thought of these conferences with these Bitcoin people hanging out and chatting to each other. I'm sure there's some like it starts with the frogs, right? But it leads into really good conversation.
I think that's one of the massive pluses and why I'm drawn to the XCP community is that we really have personal conversations. We all help each other. We all hang out on Telegram, which is very old school, but it's very approachable. You're not lost in the ether and the streams of conversation. I really enjoy that. I find I get totally distracted when I try and go over to Discord.
Yeah, I find it's kind of the XCP community is quite raw in that sense. Like everything is sort of a little bit more traditional, conservative, I guess, in a way. With even the way the system looks is more like a old-fashioned computer rather than like a manifold Ethereum in the future type experience, you know?
If it ain't broke, don't try and fix it, babes.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's claimed their Blur airdrop recently, but holy shit, that's a audio-visual experience.
I haven't seen it.
Beeple's doing art about it. I think he did a piece about people having a Blur dick measuring contest or something like that. Who's getting the most tokens in their drop?
Pretty on.
It's quite fun though. Yeah, it's developing in multiple different ways, and I think that's why it's quite interesting to talk to a DJ. Like you are someone who, when you make art, you mix things and take sound bites from things and run things back, and like the whole idea of this system that we're in being a bit of a press play to play.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that all really came with season 4 of Fake Rares. You know, we had Ghostface. I say we, Indelible, Skrilla, and Hansel. They worked with Ghostface Killer on the first 5 cards for Series 4, which were fully audio visual. Came
okay, so
with
sorry, was that was all like new work from Ghostface Killer? And
yeah. So they worked with Ghostface.
I was looking at those and I was just trying to figure out. I thought this must be real because it's actually got Ghostface Killer's name there, and they wouldn't put his name there if it wasn't real, right? So that's where it gets like a little bit fake.
Well, it's a little bit fake. A little bit fake. Come on, nothing's really real.
Sorry, those first 1 to 5 cards.
Yeah, so obviously when you're looking at scene 4, the last slide there, like the first load of cards come up at like my Fake Rares. The second lot are all the Ghostface Killer cards, and then the third lot are just kind of all the community cards.
Yeah, I saw with those Ghostface ones as well. There was like Indelible plus Ghostface, and then Skrilla plus Ghostface. Like there were separate
and Hansel
artists
as well.
And Hansel, yeah.
I mean, you can't forget the legend. He's absolutely fantastic. I mean, the old chap, Pepe, is probably one of my favourite pieces, and that's done by Hansel, and it's beautiful. It's kind of a puppet, Pepe with a monocle. He's absolutely fantastic.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I linked your Rare Pepper up in the top of the space if people want to check that out. And we have a Fake Rare anthem that you created.
This was my Series 4 drop. Yeah, so this was my first ever shimmy into rapidy rapping in a very British accent.
I think it's pretty cool. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to, in the background, I'm trying to make sure I look it up because I realized I'm looking at it on Xchain, and on Xchain it doesn't have the video, it only has the digital image, so I'm not sure if it's just my Xchain is not loading right now or
just being funky. So I've worked with an American MC who's based over in Australia called Willie Ways, and he did an Americanized version, and I worked with a guy called Silk who's in Holland, and I've done a Dutch version. So I've been remixing, and they come as like what they call them, sub tokens. When you buy the main token, sub assets, you get all of them. So like the aim is to really reach other MCs, get them to kind of collab and jump on it. I want to do like as many different nationalities as possible.
So cool. Like it's again like that idea of remixing everything and working together in ways that we couldn't possibly work together before with other countries and other people and other languages and whatnot. I just saw something about a monolithic structure that was built in the last 40 years in Georgia, I think, in America, and it was apparently rules for society to live by in 8 different languages, and they were all written on different sides of the stone. And it was essentially like a New World Order type, we need to reduce the population scenario. So it was a kind of a strange thing to have written on the stone in 8 different languages. But here's us on the other side of the equation doing anthems about just like, what is Matt Fury says, we need to be like hardcore happy if we're going to get through
hardcore
this,
happy. You need to feel that hardcore happiness, man.
Yeah, we don't need to tell other people how to live their lives. We just need to tell people to live happily, I think.
I think there's a good message in that, though.
my dad used to always wander around saying, "Don't worry, be happy." That's the
Absolutely.
song too. So I do have fake anthem actually prepared now. I've got headphones on, and I'm going to try play through. You can let me know if it doesn't sound good. But are you happy for me to play this tune or a little bit of it for the audience?
Absolutely, go. Go.
All right, let's go. Oh, it's getting a little bit. Needs the buffer.
Yeah, doesn't sound very good.
Stupid New Zealand internet.
Oh yeah, we were about to have. Okay.
Well, it's trying, but it doesn't want to. I'm so sorry. Red line. I think you're going to say something. I'm going to let it just sit there on.
No, we had one listener requested to chat. I was going to pass him the mic. So if any of you guys want to jump in the conversation, ask a question, or just chat, raise your hands and we'll pass on the mic. I just have a quick question for Whoisit. Remember in I think it was like the early 2010s or 2008, 9, something like that. Do you remember Birdieman and the shows he was doing, and then they were posting them online?
I remember seeing Beardy Man because he's really good friends with one of our friends. He's in Brighton, isn't he?
That's so cool.
He's got a big chin.
Yeah. I really enjoyed his stuff. Yeah. I really like his stuff.
Recently I saw Beardy Man with Harry Mack, who's the rapper from YouTube.
Harry Mack is so good, isn't he?
Yeah, Harry Mack came over to England and Beardy Man was beatboxing for him and laying like the beats over, and Harry Mack was just kind of, I don't know about that Harry Mack, if I'm honest. It feels like it's all a bit, he says the same kind of thing. It's all like the da 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 da. Whereas with
they call it the iambic rhythm, I think, is when you can sort of flow to anything. I think I've heard a colour talk about it.
Like you need to check out people like Task Force, and Chester P, because he did this amazing thing in like 1997 down in Black Market Records, and he's just standing there freestyling, and he picks up random records, and he's just like off the top of the dome, he just says some really cunning, quick-witted stuff, but then he flips it and he'll go into like a reggaeton, and then he'll flip it again and he'll go into a drum and bass, and I like that as opposed to just which is what I find Harry Mack's a bit like.
Harry's appealing to that TikTok audience, though. They'll eat the same consumable material up all day, basically.
Yeah, I like Brain Tax and Maestro and one.
His reaction when you talked about like memes before, you were saying like they need to be quick and with the market, and I think he's kind of like that with his.
That's exactly what you have to. I think the great thing about memetics is being on the pulse, being quick-witted, seeing something and going, oh, I can meme off of that, or just seeing the meme in things, and I find that's what resonates with me with the Pepe community, especially like being married to the master of meme. Like it's just rubs off kind of. I didn't know half of the sayings, I didn't understand half of what any of it meant, but now he's just lays it out, and I'll go, why have they drawn this? And he'll go, oh, because of this, and I'll go, oh, that makes sense now. Why are you drawing a soy bottle, Stefan? Because that's you don't want to be soy.
That's exactly what crypto is, though, isn't it? It's a bunch of acronyms and like hidden storylines, and it's amazing. Like I think we've sort of found our way to the center of the story to some extent, and over the last few weeks we've been talking about like how these pieces of art tell a story, and like last week with P.E. Sharps with the ringmaster, she's now got it as a profile picture. I see like we're slowly building. Next week we've got another artist who I'm quite excited to share with everyone again. Like it just keeps going, but the real crypto story starts on Bitcoin or with Bitcoin, and then it starts with Repepes, essentially. Like that's one of the first branches of the tree. You've also talked about like Test and some other ones that came before it, and I don't want to discredit those ones that were actually there prior, because I know people get upset about that, but like SOG, Spells Genesis, like there's a lot of other mysterious happenings down there, isn't there?
I mean, there's a lot to find if you do a little search, or if anybody's really interested to know the sources from the sound bites. I've got them all as like YouTube videos that you can watch. It's really interesting. Theo's really good to follow on YouTube. Yeah, Skrilla is worth following. He's always doing bits and pieces. I know Viva Lavandle's doing more and more on Twitter Spaces, so he'd be worth following as well. Yeah, there's lots of people out here doing stuff for the Pepe cause, which is great.
Yeah, and you've been involved in some of those other things that are going on as well. Obviously, Mikaboshi is a big one that's happening for you and Endel both, and you also have a legendary swimmer in the Alcatraz swim team, one that has music, and I think you said there were only two that do.
Yeah,
are there some other projects that you've worked with that you want to mention, I guess?
There's only two artists that have got music behind the Alcatraz, and that's Skrilla and myself. And then we've done the Mikaboshi Genesis collection, which we sold out in a couple of days, which is very, very much heavily plays on memetics. You've got Caroline, you've got Sam Bankman-Fried, you've got Elon Musk, you've got Carsonated Pepe, Wojak, and several others, Chad, Chris Akabusi, of course, Aruga, Side-Eyed Chloe, sorry, Whoisit, and yeah, so they're Japanese infused, I'd say, but they've got a lot of Easter eggs. So you've got different Chinese writings on the Japanese infused, obviously. PFPs, you've got different kicks, you've got different heads, you've got different backgrounds.
What was the process of designing these and going, like, working together with these other artists to get this ready? Because obviously the Japanese side of it comes from the fact that Mikaboshi is a Japanese myth or creation story of some extent, isn't it? And
it was a bit of a nod to the Pepenado Genesis, the fake Genesis meme. That's like the whole on a horse,
okay, cool,
kind of thing. And yeah, I just kind of stemmed off of layering off of that, really.
What were your thoughts on like crypto being essentially a westernized market at the moment? I think the Pepe market is probably more American than anything else, but this is like taking something from the other side of the globe and like.
I don't think I'd say that. I'd say like there's a big Japanese like early buy-in to like counterparty stuff.
Top Open.
Yeah, of course you got Pen. But beyond that, there's like the memory chain collection and things like that, and you know that's I believe a like Japanese manga, community started thing that was kind of like alongside Rare Pepe times.
Yeah, I'd suggest we're probably in like a bit of a discovery stage where there have probably been lots of other things created that we haven't found yet.
Yeah, check out Bit Girls. That's definitely Japanese inspired as well.
Check out Panesium.
Panesium, I have heard of that one, I think. I think there was something like Monas or Monads or something, Monadology or something that was I was looking for one of Arwen's assets and I stumbled across something else that had come out of Japan. So I know there's definitely a bit of a crowd going on over there, and it's really cool to see. Yeah, this like for it to bring about this conversation from my point of view is I mean I'm the one who brought it up, but it's quite interesting how everything is twisting together now, and
yeah,
we can learn about each other. It's pretty awesome.
I'd say there's probably a really good Eastern buy-in as well as the Western side of appreciating this stuff.
Have you, while you've got Indelible there, have you got any Rare Pepe questions?
I mean, I've been asking you plenty of questions. I didn't have any specifically for Indel.
Okay, cool. Good evening, Mr. Hansel. Thank you for joining us. Sorry, carry on.
Sorry, Mr. Hansel.
Mook Hansel down the bottom there. He's just joined us.
Oh, there he is.
We should just all give him a round of applause if we can.
Yeah, let's just everybody clap.
Everybody clap for Mr. Hansel. Fantastic.
So I have this fake anthem staring at me, and it's buffered to like 10 seconds. and it just won't move.
Just leave
And I know
it.
when I hit play, it's gonna just not work. So I'm gonna leave that one out, unfortunately. But people should definitely go to. You can go to pepe.whatthefuck. You can go to Daxia.io. You can go to Xchain. You can go to a few other places to find fake Anthem. But the asset name
Redlion.red.
will always be fake Anthem.
Yeah, so Fake Anthem is full of little Easter eggs, built in After Effects with a character animate, where I've animated a Pepe version and then I've synced him to the a cappella of me singing the rap. And it links up perfectly for you, and then you can move. I don't know if anybody's used character animate, but you can actually move and rig your characters so you can get their arms moving and their legs moving, and then you can drop that into scenes in After Effects, and then with the two moving, it gives a really good kind of film effect.
Yeah, this is something you mentioned before as well, is how like you take assets from Illustrator and put them into After Effects and add effects in there, and like we like talking about these Adobe features. Like I'm an Adobe guy, I use Adobe a lot, and I know there are people that use Procreate and Apple side, which I don't advocate for so much, but I love Adobe. Like I love the way that the layers work together, and it's
exactly. I think when you're used to a program, it's like I bought into Apple really early doors, so everything I own is Apple. I just can't use a Samsung or a Galaxy tablet or phone. It's alien to me. So I think it's different horses for courses. Me, I liked Procreate for a while. I really enjoyed using it, but it fucks around with your pixelation so much. I just don't like that. I've just moved straight over to Illustrator. No more fuckery when I want to resize. I can just move stuff, and yeah, it's great. It's taken me about a week to get my head around. Because I've used Photoshop for the last 16 years. But yeah, Illustrator is the way forward, I think.
Yeah, certainly. I've been using it lately a little bit as well. And like it's just so easy. Like kids are going to start playing around with it and get it very quickly, aren't they? Because it's just so easy to like make things move. Not to discredit your work at all, because I absolutely love your art. But it is, the tools are developing very quickly, I think. And AI is coming in now. So who knows what might happen with storytelling and
absolutely. I'm loving it when people are incorporating the backgrounds, or they're using it for ideas and then creating things off of that, because some of the assets that it gives you back, or ideas for assets, it's really cool.
Yeah, it just gets you prompted and started.
Yeah.
Did we have Redline? I think you mentioned someone wanted to come up, or
no, we had a request earlier. I put someone up, but I don't know, he rage quit or something.
Got right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, we've got a few other bits and pieces that I've mentioned in this article about you that I was just going to try and circle back to. Who was it? But was there anything else you were going to tail off with there?
No,
about
go for
Adobe and all of that?
Where can people find your work now? What platforms are you using? And what work should we be expecting from you for in 2023? What collections are you putting out?
Okay, so I whoisitnft.com for my website. And that's got all the links to everywhere else. Or you can go to my Twitter, and there's a link on the top of there. Please do follow me. I do share, I do like, and I do engage. I was really enjoying last year, and I really want to jump back into it. FX Hash. I was getting really into P5 coding. I was really enjoying that, and I was really loving. I created a couple of collections on FX Hash with that. I started dropping some bits on Tez, some kind of glitchy illustrated skeleton girls. I have a couple of fakes. I've got a couple of drops on Mikaboshi. I've got what's the other thing? Some Ethereum based bits as well that I've been working on for the VVD stuff. and for the fake memes. So that's what I've been hustling recently. Obviously, the last month I've been kind of sidetracked with this project because I was able to learn how to make everything move like I wanted to with this panning camera, like I said. So that's really good. I love to set myself a task per project where I'm going to learn something. So my last few projects where I've had this MPC sat round for the last year, I've been trying to learn different mastering bits and pieces on audio, which is what I've been enjoying, making sure that I've got audio behind everything. I ramble, sorry.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any collections planned for launching? And are you launching anything on Ethereum too, or
Yes.
was your first piece with us?
So my first ever collection, actually, the first thing I minted was a lie. The first thing I ever minted was a collection, and it's on Ethereum, and it's called Nothings. And I used the soundtrack that I'm busy, busy, busy doing nothing. And it's a series of different sized pixels of nothingness. And I did all right on that. So yeah, I've used Ethereum. Check it out.
But you don't have any plans for this year, right?
Yeah, so I'm working on a PFP collection currently. I've just started working on it.
Oh, really nice. Okay.
So let me ask you, Whoisit, you have a couple of profile picture collections, right? Like there is Funchkins, I think, is one of them, and there is Fake Frunks. Is that you as well?
Yep, that was Indelible and I.
Mikaboshi, and what's this next one?
Yep. So this next one is going to be lots of female infused peppers. Like
nice.
I'm working on I'm working on that at the moment. So
I think like from an outsider looking in, somebody who's made multiple profile picture collections might be looked at negatively by some people as somebody who left projects behind, so to say. But I think what you're doing is leaving a trail of breadcrumbs of different projects that people can grab and run with, which is quite amazing. Like, does that make sense?
Well, I think that the thing is you've got to be agile.
And you're still working on all
when you're creative, you don't want to be defined in one bubble. You don't want to just do one thing. You want to when you have the output that I do.
You're exploring.
And yeah, I think, and that's what you've got to do. I'm still in the middle of my first 1.5 years of doing this. Yeah, I think the most important thing is to figure out where you feel comfortable.
The other things don't stop. It's just more.
I'm just adding stuff. Yeah, it's not like I haven't. It's not like I've left anything because I'm still creating.
Yeah, I wasn't suggesting that. Sorry, like I wasn't suggesting that as such, but I only mentioned that because I know there has been some beef in fake rares and rare pepes in the past, and I'm not sure exactly of the details, but that's
all on
sort of
Skrilla. That's
outsider
all
looking
his
in.
beef.
Yeah.
That's not our beef.
I thought there was someone who might have beef with your alter ego or something. I don't know. But now you're doing like a female collection of pepes, which I think is quite it's very, very important.
Yeah, well, it's different, isn't it? That's the thing. Is everybody's doing like pepper is what I want to do because I'm like the queen of outputting girls. I love sexy. I love hotness, hip hop, cool.
What are the details on this collection? Like, how many are there going to be, and who are you working with, and how's it?
I'm going to work myself, and I, because the output is high. I've just started yesterday, so it's probably going to take me about a month to turn around. Luckily, Indelible is fantastic. We've built a system, so I build all the layers. It's the same system as what we've used for Alcatraz, for our Mikaboshi, for the fake Frunks. I'm going to cough, excuse me. Pardon me. So we've got a system that we can load all of our layers into, and it will give us unique outputs. So all I have to draw up is my 50 to 60 unique characters with all the different traits, and then I can load that into my program, and that will output my however many individual PFPs. and from
Is
that
that
I might have like
that
rarer
infrastructure,
ones.
sorry, you've used for Mikaboshi and for, like, I presume Alcatraz Swim Team was where that started?
Similar kind of thing, yeah. I think it's quite widely used technique to kind of use LED PNGs to create these things.
Yeah, so
I think it's
basically your groups are your layers in essence. So you make all
I
your
really
groups.
appreciate being able to just like watch you and learn from you guys.
Yeah, I mean, shoot from the hip. If you've got questions, that's what we're here for, and that's what I've enjoyed. Like the last year, really, like onboarding people to XCP, teaching them how to actually get to grips and pull up their sleeves and understand the technology that we've got going on, because it's great. The community that we've got over in Bitcoin is really embracing of anybody that's willing to learn. So if you've got any questions, add me, shoot me a question. I can show you where we hang. It's once you get into the one hallway in Telegram, you find yourself in like 7 or 8 different rooms quite quickly.
Yeah, I found that when I first got into it. It's just like you keep finding another one, and you think it's never going to end, and I don't think it is ever going to end. To be honest, I think there'll be new groups and new profile picture collections and new memes, hopefully.
True.
Yeah, and the XCP community has been there since forever, right?
Pardon?
I'm saying that you guys with the XCP community have been there forever, minting on Bitcoin.
Well, not myself, but yeah, there are lots of people there that have been doing it for a long time. A couple sat in this room.
Yeah, and they don't really leave, do they? Once they're in, they don't really want to get out.
Yeah, it's like the new drug.
Yeah, it is. We are sick. Alan said this to me before. Like we have a mental illness, but yeah, it's all good. We might all be like a little bit.
Just one more minute.
I'm sipping on my tea.
Nice.
That's how rock and roll.
Yeah, I had those crumpets yesterday for breakfast because I was going to sit down with an English lady, and I thought crumpets was appropriate.
So you didn't have any this morning, bless you.
No, I ran out. Those were my last two. I didn't expect our space to get rugged.
Yeah, I think that was just a Twitter issue, to be honest. I don't think that was anything that we could have done to prevent that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm glad we were able to rearrange and for us to get a few people in here. Just to
I appreciate you turning up.
Like we're all very flexible, and I appreciate that about the Web3 industry as well. Like we are perhaps a bunch of strange individuals, but we are very loving, and we work around with each other, and like just we don't want to disappoint each other. I think, which is part of the Web3 ethos, part of the Bitcoin ethos. Like hopefully that can extend out, and we can meet more people like us.
Absolutely, dude.
I can play us the Pepe Cash song here because I do have this one buffered all the way to the end, and we want to hear some music in this space, I think. So
yeah, please. So Pepe Cash is the Pepe song. All we got is "My bitches love me." Silence. And they love my Pepe Cash.
Oh, can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't hear the music. But that's fine. We don't need to hear Pepe Cash. Anybody wants to hear Pepe Cash, hit me a DM.
I'm the worst DJ.
To YouTube. That's all right. We're just all like silently mocking you in our minds.
That's all right. It's a fake like show. None of this is real anyway. This is all in the mind.
What about you? Where have you gone with what Pepe projects have you touched on? How did you get into Pepe?
How did I get into Pepe? I think my first XCP asset was VVD did that one where it was like a couple of lily pads floating, and then I can't remember who the artist was, but it's like sky blue water, and Pepe is just lying on his back looking up into the sky like he's floating there, and it's not T Wade, but it's like it might be someone else that starts with T. But I picked up this asset, and then I sort of found my way into one chat and then into another, and then like I've fallen in love with Viva's work and with Alcatraz Swim Team, and like the level of chaos and Mikaboshi, like these sorts of groups. But like I really don't know how I got here. If that makes sense. It just sort of happened. I'm by myself. Like you had Indel leading you in, so you sort of knew what was coming to some extent. But like, I'm just working solo. I broke up with my partner like as I was engaged for a couple of years, and I broke up with her because I wanted to do crypto and smoke weed. Like, she was like, no, you don't, like, you need a real job. And I'm like, no, I need to really do this. Like, this is all I want to do. And somehow I've ended up in this place by myself. Like, I'm living in a shed on the corner of a little city in New Zealand with like 150,000 people in it. I'm walking around the streets thinking, like, how did I get here? How did I get to this country? And now I'm on this spiritual journey. Like, crypto has taken me to all sorts of places. I've started to learn about all sorts of things, and I've got like a thirst for knowledge, I guess. So I'm just like just sleuthing around and trying to learn about people and be a medium, like be someone who sits in the middle and communicates ideas and helps other people grow, because I'm not much good by myself, but I can be, somebody or something in here. None of it matters anyway. Like,
none of it matters, but it feels good, man.
Yeah, exactly. I just it's like we're a fish, and someone's throwing us a line.
Well, we're all swimming together, and it's okay.
Yeah, and I love the idea of Alcatraz swim team, like the idea that these frogs are actually breaking out of prison and swimming away. Like the stories I said to you in a tweet the other day. I've looked forward to the day when Fake Res becomes a movie, and some of these artists that I've been friends with for a little bit now and who've been friends with each other for even longer, like, they're the ones who are going to be asked to make that movie, because it wouldn't be right if anybody else did,
Absolutely.
And it's, again, layers, like you were talking about with Adobe and like different platforms. Like, we're adding layers to the internet. Like,
well, this is it. I think the real fun comes when, really sick illustrators start working with really dope animators, and they start collabing with really sick producers, and they like find little teams. Like, that's where I want it to go. Like, I've been working.
Yeah, exactly. I think like
it's really cool.
Like you already said about your marketing experience, like the way you built a marketing company, essentially. Like, this is what makes me so bullish, is the fact that like we are a little bit strange, but we're meeting people that have incredible talent, and like
Precisely.
you can help grow businesses and grow.
I dropped Ayers. Sorry if I've not pronounced your name correctly. I dropped in my audio the other day. And apologies if you're not a man, but I think you are. And I said, I don't know if you know anything about making all of this audio from all the sound bites sound consistent. 2 days, completely cleaned it, sorted it for me. Here you go, Helen. I'm like, dude, thank you so much, because it's just the little bit in my toolkit that I don't know how to master, and I don't know how to get, like, I can rip the audio, but I don't know how to level it all and make it sound all crisp. And I was like, thank you so much, because I just would have been lost, and it would have taken me so much longer. And so it's great that now I'm learning what people's toolkit are, and they know they can say to me, can you do this for me? And I'll get no problem.
Yeah, there's like Grand Rising, Skrilla's projects just boomed onto the scene in the start of 2023. Like, I think your Pepe History asset that you created for us suggested that Pepe was going to take over, and it was starting in 2022, or like projects are starting to take over. But the way that like that project works, you buy the NFT, and then you can download the stems, so you can have like the stem player that Kanye made, which was to highlight this to everyone. Like, there are different stems in a track, right? Like, there are different layers to the music, and you can now have each of those layers independently, and you can remix it and use it in the way that you want to, which makes like one album of 20 songs all of a sudden like 20 times, say, 5 or 10 stems. Like, there's a lot of data and information there to play with, and us computer nerds are going to really enjoy remixing each other's. I don't know if I've already had someone send me one of the Grand Rising MP3s and just said, like, yeah, go for it, man. Like, if you want to use it, here it is. Here's the file. He's like, I don't know how to get the stems out. I'm not that like technically savvy, but I know that's there somewhere, I've been told. And I'm like, cool. Well, I've figured out now how this all works, just through like association. Like, just because we're close with Skrilla and with his ideas and his friends, and like we're now friends with him, and I'm friends with you, and like we're all just frog friends. Like, we're all learning from each other, like,
absolutely, and that's what
with
it's
each
all
other.
about.
Yeah.
You need to get yourself an NPC if you've got stems. cut that bad
NPC?
boy up. Yeah, an NPC.
Isn't
like
it a
music system in a
non-playing
box.
character?
Have a little look. How much? I've just got a little NPC one, but it's amazing. I was running when I first started. I studied
M for mother.
Yeah, like Mother Futon.
Mm-hmm.
P for Papa. C for computer.
Cool.
It's hip hop.
Oh, that yeah. I definitely. I want one of these.
Yeah. Indelible bought me one the other year because he was like, "This is what you need to do to make all your music sound amazing." And everything sounds so much richer.
Yeah, my my oldest brother actually has one, and he uses it a little bit. And I think he did the da 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 is the one and only D or double G. He got that intro to that one started, and it's funny because as you add the layers to it, you hear the drum beat and you're like, oh, what's this? And then you add another one and you're like, oh, okay, now it's starting to take some shape. And then the keys and it's like, whoa, oh, that's that song. You couldn't tell until it all came together.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's what makes the stems so interesting. You can make a completely different song with the same beat.
But even
lyrics, different
reverse,
styles.
in Ableton you can reverse things. Same with the MPC. You just take a splice, reverse it, play with the tempo. You can add modulation to stuff and get that whoop. I love that dubstep whoop 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 whoop.
It was really fun. Very
it's an interesting song.
familiar with
it's been around
the
for
context,
6 years. So 2017, that must have got dropped on YouTube and on. Is it a fake rare or is it? It's just Pepe Cash. Is just
Pepe Cash is what you burn to get into rare Pepes. So
it's commons, isn't it?
No, rare Pepes.
You need to take his book or no?
No. Listen. Rare Pepes were you always burn Pepe Cash. You always burn 2,000. Was it 2,100?
Change. It depended on the time.
It depended on the time, apparently. So Pepe Cash, scene 3 of my animation. It scrolls round. It starts with Mike holding the Mikomoto. In fact, let's talk through my card quickly because I feel like right. So the card starts with the first ever edition of the Boys Club, and it's got the characters of the Boys Club sat in the living room, and you scroll through and you reach some magazine covers from various issues of the Boys Club. So Boys Club was the magazine that Matt Fury created around Pepe, and it was a group of stoners and this real chilled frog, and it would just tell little funny stories, and it kind of became a meme sensation. Later on it found its way, and actually the saying "feels bad man" found its way into the Urban Dictionary. Katy Perry in 2000, I can't remember, 2015 I think it was, she sent out a tweet using Pepe. The Guardian 2015 write an article about the meme Pepe. 2016 people start wearing Pepe t-shirts. Nicki Minaj in 2016 sends out a tweet with Pepe. It's kind of building up buzz. It's becoming this real kind of mimetic icon. Trump then uses it, not in a shady way. He just sends out a tweet. You'll see it in my piece, and off the back of that, Mike, who's kind of the first scientist of rare Pepe, creates the Mikomoto card. It's first of 3 cards. Nakamoto, sorry. And Mikomoto's my card. Nakamoto. First of 3 cards. One of them's the shitcoin card. One's the Nakamoto, and I can't remember. What's the third one, babe? I can't remember the third one. Shortly thereafter, 2015, Joe Looney creates the Rare Pepe wallet, which allows people to kind of see these cards in a funky way. Then they kind of bring on Theo and Sean Leary and later J-Dog, and they become the Rare Pepe scientists, and it becomes a curated space for people to upload Pepe memes, but very loosely curated. Anybody could get in. runs from 2016 to 2018. Also, John, sorry, I should mention as well, rest in peace. Ends 2018, but funnily doesn't actually really end till 2021 when they actually get the final card, which is done by Matt Fury. But it closed its doors at 2018. Nobody else could kind of submit their card. However, they'd left this one spot open, which was for Matt Fury, and it was the last card, and he finally did that card in 2021. So, no matter what anybody says, as Pepe lovers, it just felt like the cherry on the cake to get the final seal of approval from the man himself, Mr. Matt Fury, making that card. 2021, Fake Rares starts, kind of a community project around Pepes that aren't rare Pepes. So it was always said in rare Pepes, anything that wasn't a rare Pepe was kind of a fake rare. So that's kind of where that saying coined from. Skrilla shared something in the rare Pepe chat. I think it was late October 21, maybe even earlier. And he got banned and kind of started up a new group. And I didn't really come in till a month or a series, like series 2. And then from there, really, it's just the influx of communities around that have started creating, and the amount of old Pepe artists and new Pepe artists that you'll meet on Telegram is amazing, to be honest. The skill set on there is astounding.
It's like the branches of the tree of life for me.
Absolutely. I'm pleased we got that in there, because I feel like I spent so long making that. Now at least we've got that recorded.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you while you were going through it too, because it's Pepe history, and it will be nice to have that as a soundbite and to be able to remix that, and we can play around with this Twitter space as one of those mini layers that we've been talking about.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, I'd love if you could send me a rip of it. That'd be great.
Yeah, and isn't it amazing how you've gone from partner of a frog and completely disinterested and mocking and
honestly how the times have changed.
So now you're the storyteller. Now you're the one who is enlightening us as to the history, and I appreciate you and Indel there beside you for schooling me on a couple of things just recently.
I appreciate you taking the time to listen, guys, and everybody turning up. Thank you very much.
Definitely. I think we'll wrap it up, but if there's anyone that did want to come up and say hello or ask a question, then feel free. Otherwise, we'll fade out and head back to our days, and it's a good morning and a good night to everybody.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much, Whoisit, for coming in. Very, very nice to meet you. And thank you so much for doing the art drop with us. If you're not familiar, we are publishing the Red Lion Gazette, which basically records all the NFT history through art with our covers. And as an add-on, every week we have amazing work by great artists such as Whoisit and other amazing people in the space included as a free claim with the Gazette. With a total cost of 0.01. So if that sounds good to you, go check it out. And if you want to collect Whoisit on Ethereum, that's definitely a good opportunity.
Certainly.
Tomorrow...
And, on my side, I've written an article, and there are plenty of links in there to Whoisit's other creative endeavors too. So make sure to check out the article and give it a share if you like it and all that sort of stuff.
100%. Tomorrow we have a space. It's early in the morning for our US audience, but it's going to be afternoon and evening for Asia. We are chatting with Faceless. So it's going to be really exciting, guys. We sent our PFPs and we will have them animated, and Dudley and I will be chatting live with the amazing people from Faceless. They are from Japan, so it's going to be really, really cool. We're going to meet new people. We are also going to ask a lot of questions about NFTs in Japan. So if you're curious, join us tomorrow early in the morning. Or it's 2 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock CET when we start. So it's about 6 o'clock in the morning on East Coast. So, but it's good for.
I think you might be interested. You might be interested in that Faceless DAO or Faceless as well. Who is it? It seems like quite a cool bit of collaboration there between Redline and another entity who are animating things for people. So good on them.
I'll be there.
We are very excited, and thanks again, Whoisit. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everybody. You have a nice evening.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye bye.